with your main Chip Washington. When it comes to information, the main got an arsenal. Bring you up to speed with what you need. He's a local and nationwide news feed. Let's talk about it. Dialect to do something about it. Chip got the flow wide open if you got questions about it. Man, it's the show that brings you to your raw. To solve all problems, it starts with real talk. Real talk. It's 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 real talk. Yeah. Welcome to Real Talk with your host, Chip Washington. It's real talk. It's real talk. It's real talk.
And here we go on this 23rd day of February 2026, 6 o'clock straight up, which means it is time for an all new and live Real Talk Memphis. Welcome in, welcome in. Glad to have you. I am your program host. My name is Chip Washington. Pleasure to be here once again in the air chair behind the microphone. As we do our thing for the next 60 minutes, we hope that you can hang with us. I think we have a pretty good show for you tonight. We will run down that guest list for you in just a matter of moments. But first and foremost, it's cold. And I don't think I really need to tell you that, but, you know, I'm a responsible journalist, so I thought I would bring it up. It's cold, and keep that coat with you, keep some on your head. It's going to warm up before the week is out, but it hadn't done it yet, so it's still pretty chill outside, so protect yourself if you will. In terms of how do you get this fine piece of radio broadcasting, you know, I get that question a lot, and I don't mind answering it, and information is power, as they say. So you can find us on 91.7 WYXR on the FM side of the dial. You can also find us live on the app, the WYXR app. We are also available on the TuneIn app. You can find us there. And we are live streaming tonight, so you can find us on Facebook Live on my page. If you choose to watch the festivities when the show is posted in a couple of days, you can find us on YouTube. And as we are a podcast, you can find us wherever it is you get your podcast. So, you know, we make it pretty convenient for you if you happen to miss the big broadcast one night in particular. All right. So in terms of guest list this evening, let us go through that and kind of break down what you can expect as the hour moves along. First guest in just a few minutes, Dr. Joseph B. Kyles. Dr. Joseph Kyles is the executive director of Rainbow Push Memphis, and he was one of the closest aides to the late Reverend Jesse Jackson, who passed away last week. I invited Joe on the show because he was very, very close to Reverend Jackson, and obviously can tell us a lot about the man and his mission and his legacy. So I look forward to having that conversation in just a couple of minutes. A little bit later on, we're going to be talking with Dr. Bruce Randolph. He is the interim director of the Shelby County Health Department. And it's always good to get a health report, especially this time of year. Weather transitioning, weather changing. 3-4 days ago, it was 77 degrees. And today it's barely in the 30s. So, you get these temperature variances and people start to get sick because they don't know how to dress in this kind of stuff. But we'll check on numbers, statistics. We'll see how the flu is doing, COVID, some other things. We're gonna give you a checkup in a little while. And in the next half hour, we are going to have someone who can speak firsthand about the entertainment business, i.e. singing. She was a child star back in the 80s and 90s, and she was a big deal, too, for a minute there. Many of you have heard of her. Stacy Lattisaw Jackson is her name, and many of us, of course, knew her as Stacy Lattisaw. She was 12, 13 years old. She had several hits out there, and a lot of you remember her as the opening act for the Jacksons, as is the Jackson 5. The Jacksons, they had a tour, the Triumph Tour in 1981, and she was the opening act for that. So we'll talk to her a little bit about that. I had somebody call me today and say, Chip, I remember Stacy Lattisaw. I was in the audience. I was in attendance when the Jacksons were here, and she was the opening act. So, yeah, we look forward to walking down memory lane, why she left the business, what is going on in her world these days. So looking very much forward to talking with her in the second half hour of the broadcast. So there you go. That's a nice rundown of what you can expect this evening. However, right now we like to do a little thing we like to call a shout out. A lot of you have made another trip around the sun. It's not always easy to make another trip around the sun, but you did. And because you did, we want to celebrate you. And we do that with a little thing I like to call the shout out. We can't do that until I say, hit it, Brent. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. Going out to the following individuals. Tondi Allen, celebrating her birthday today. Happy birthday to Joseph McDaniel, Nikki Brown, Tony Johnson, Janice Reed, Rhonda Richmond, celebrating her birthday today, as is Erica Cowan, Catherine King, Embrick Johnson, and Nick Burchett. Listen, happy birthday to each and every one of you. Hope today's been filled with love and laughter, and you know what? Even a little piece of cake and some ice cream wouldn't be out of order with all of this as well. Happy birthday from all of us here at the Real Talk Memphis, and we hope that we will be here for your next trip around the sun. Thanks, Brent. So a couple of notable deaths to talk about. Robert Duvall, a great actor, of course. He played in The Godfather. He played in Apocalypse Now. He played in Open Range. He did a lot of westerns and did a lot of great movies. He died at the age of 95. And Eric Dane, of course. Eric Dane may not be a name that you are familiar with, but if you watch Grey's Anatomy, they used to call him with Dr. McDreamy or something like that back in the day. He was on that show. He died of ALS at the age of 53. And may their memories always be a blessing. Some news and notes this evening. The U.S. Supreme Court earlier, a few days ago, determined that the tariffs assigned by President Trump are not legal. And that has reverberated all over. The president is hot as firecracker behind all of that. And now the question is, are countries going to be paid back the money that they paid for these tariffs that he imposed? Is anybody in the country going to get any money? All this kind of stuff. These are questions that will take years and years of court action to figure out. But of course, tomorrow is the State of the Union. So I'm more than sure the president might have something to say about all of this come tomorrow evening. Let me see here. Locally, Steve Cohen, Congressman Steve Cohen, of course, he has been a long-time congressman in District 9. And one of the reasons that he continually stays in office is because he does things for his constituency, like getting money for much-needed projects and organizations and groups, which he did last week. A couple of notable organizations got some pretty good money from him in reference to some grant money situation. Two historic landmark churches are receiving major funding for their restoration projects. One, of course, is Mason Temple, $1.2 million in renovation monies or restoration monies for Mason Temple, and $3.1 million to Claiborne Temple. You know, Claiborne Temple's right down the street from here, and it was destroyed in a fire in April. So they are getting some much needed funding to start the restoration project. And many other nonprofit groups and organizations all throughout the city and the county receive various amounts of money from Congressman from the congressman. And of course, again, everybody is, but see, this is what happens. You're getting close to election time now. And Congressman Cohen, he knows what to do. He's been around long enough. He's been representing that district for many, many years. And of course, it's never a bad thing when you can provide funding for groups and organizations who are doing the work tirelessly each and every day. Speaking of, there is a debate tonight, a debate forum tonight at Mississippi Boulevard Christian Church, right down the street. The mayoral candidates for the county mayor's race will be there tonight, meeting and greeting individuals, and of course answering questions about what they would do if they became the new leader of the county in terms of representation. All of them will be there this evening, including Dr. Marie Fagans, who seems to be getting a lot of attention from a lot of different corners out there tonight. So you still have time. I think right now there's a little bit of a meet and greet going, and everything really kicks off about 6:30 this evening. So Mississippi Boulevard Christian Church, 6:30 tonight. If you want to see the mayoral debate, they're going on right now down the street. Get down there so you can check out the action and figure out what you're going to do when this election comes around. Former state representative John DeBerry is a candidate for the Shelby County mayor's race on the Republican side. Was a Democrat, lost the race, turned to the Republican side of things, and he's been a Republican ever since. Now he's going to run for a mayor under the Republican banner. And former TV Judge Joe Brown is also throwing his hat into the mayor's race as a Republican as well. So, yeah, don't ask me. We'll see. And many of you have probably heard what is going on in the Northeast today. It's called the bomb cyclone. This is one of the biggest storms the Northeast has seen in probably well over a decade. I mean, we're talking 2 feet of snow. Many locations, New York and Boston and Connecticut, and a lot of those places up and down that coast are getting like at least, I know New York City has gotten just under 2 feet of snow. Can you imagine? And then the winds are blowing 60, 70 miles an hour in effect with all of that snow. You got about 500,000 people plus with power outages. And it's going to be cold there for a few days. This is not going to go away. It may wind down a little bit between tonight and tomorrow, but I mean, it is some kind of a disaster. Hurricane force winds, 500,000 people without power. And again, 2 feet of snow, 2 feet. That's 24 inches of snow. We just had a little bit of a deal here. But this 1 to 2 to 3 inches that we had here, if you think about how bad it was here, and it was significant for us, for a lot of us here in the neighborhoods and communities. Can you imagine 2 feet? I can't. I'm just going to tell you. That's a look at news and notes. Let's pray for those folks that they will recover from all of this soon. A bomb cyclone. That is a very, very big deal. Let's take a break. And when we come back, we will get things started on this Monday evening edition of Real Talk Memphis. I'm Chip. You know who you are. Don't you dare go away. We'll be right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name's Noah, and I'm the host of a show called Between Your Ear and the Other Ear, which airs every Saturday at 7 p.m., a program dedicated to everything recorded to tape. So tune in this Saturday for a special mixtape made just for you.
Hey, it's Mac Man from your Mac Man Music Show. Tune in every Wednesday at 5 to 6 for the best in all kinds of soul, rhythm and blues, jazz, a little hip-hop, and all kinds of music on WYXR 91.7 FM.
Hello, friends. Are you craving a soundtrack for the supernatural?
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this Monday evening in the city. Chip with you. And, recently the world suffered a big loss, especially in the area of civil rights. Of course, I'm speaking of Reverend Dr. Jesse Jackson, who died last week at the age of 84. And, of course, one of the last of the great civil rights icons and pioneers that this country has seen. A lot of folks are reflecting on his life and his legacy. And I wanted to bring somebody on the show who knows him, who knew him very well, and work with him as well. And, you never really can get a perspective about an individual until you talk to somebody who was very, very close to him. Please welcome to the show Dr. Joseph B. Kiles. He is the executive director of Rainbow Push Coalition here in Memphis. And Joseph, it's great to see you, and I know how busy you are, so thank you for taking a few minutes for remembrance of someone that you were very close to. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Chip. I appreciate you having me.
So obviously, you come to this from a perspective that not a lot of people can say. You were actually your family very, very close to him. Obviously, your uncle, Reverend Billy Kiles, and at some point, Reverend Jackson tasked you with being, I guess, pretty close to him in terms of the security. Did I get that right? Were you a part of his security team or his head security guy? How did it go? How was that?
Well, initially, Uncle Billy, Reverend Kiles, during one of the anniversaries, I think I was still in college at the time, tasked me as his body man. His body man was more of an individual that paid attention. There was some security aspects to it. But as Reverend Jackson and I developed our own relationship over 40 years, it involved security and logistics, and then just working out in the executive capacity and working in terms of creating contracts and opportunity and access. So I learned the business from the ground up. It's a family business, civil rights, and being a humanitarian. So I'm thankful to have had that opportunity with two icons, Reverend Samuel Billy Kiles, and then my dear friend, Reverend Jesse Jackson.
Yeah, absolutely that. And, through that course of time, that's a long time, you got to see him in many different settings and scenarios and things like that. If someone would ask you, as I'm sure they probably have already, what that experience was like, really learning at the knee of not one, but both, during some very difficult times in this country's history, of course, working closely with the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. What when you look back on your time spent with these amazing individuals, what do you take away from that?
Well, first, if you spend any time with Reverend Jackson, immediately you would be aware of his intellect. He had a keen intellect. And he approached things. You'd often talk about flying at 40,000 feet when we come into different cities and try to work on solutions that were going on internally. A lot of times when we would reach a city, there were internal politics that prevented them from being successful. Well, Reverend came in and he was working on behalf of those who were aggrieved and then those who were in the power position. So his intellect first, and then his work ethic. Many times Reverend would only be sleeping about 3 or 4 hours a day. And so to make it to 84 and have to do almost 65 years of that pedal to the metal, that says a lot about his tenacity. And then lastly, I would say his compassion. Wherever he went, he was always working on those who were marginalized, those who were the least of these. And that is really compelling to me, that you had such a person with a high intellect, a great work ethic, much like the time that I spent with Harold Ford when I was working on his son's campaign. Harold Ford Sr. had that same kind of drive and work ethic. And when you're around people like that, you can't help but measure yourself up to the bar. So I learned that you're not going to let anyone outwork you, but you still have to have compassion.
You know, one of the things that many of us know Reverend Jackson for is "I am somebody," and
Yeah.
and I mean it's iconic. And he would say it wherever he was, wherever he went, and it was a rallying cry for us as a people. Why was that so important for him? And not only for him, but for him to be able to tell it and really to share that with so many people. As you said, you run into people in all different walks of life and all different ways of life. But I'm thinking of young black folks, the boys and girls, and you know, male and female. But to have him to say that the way he said it, with the expression that he used, it was very, very powerful. And what did that mean to people when you were right there to see all of that reaction? What did that mean to people? What did that say to people?
Well, he was telling his own story, Chip. You know that Reverend had his name changed 3 times. And so that is a term of affirmation for himself. And so having a stepfather and then being born to a young teenage mother in South Carolina, deep segregation. You know, when he went to Illinois and he was recruited there to play football as a quarterback, and they got there, and like you know the story, they tried to move him to defense.
Yeah.
He left there, went to A&T so that he could play quarterback, and he had a great career. So that "I am somebody" is a term of affirmation that he would look in the mirror when he was young, and he would tell himself, and he wanted to make sure that young people all across the country, no matter what color or race or gender, could have the same kind of affirmation, and they could face the challenges of life that were going to come to them.
You know, whenever I heard him talk about the shot heard around the world that killed Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., his descriptor, I think one of the stories I saw recently was the 50th anniversary of that painful day, and he was here in Memphis, and he was talking about that. After all these years, Joseph, after all these years, it was still something to me. Watching him, that was still a very, very painful moment, even decades and decades past. Am I correct in that?
You are correct. Whenever we got to the Civil Rights Museum, he would turn to me and just whisper, "Stick close to me." And I knew at that point that he had a spiritual sense, and he had a keen, and he had the ability to sense certain things. But it was always a very poignant and powerful moment as he would relive that. And I think it was important for him to come back each year, because when he would leave, he would be re-energized with the spirit of Dr. King. And so I think that that's why it was very important for him to make that trek back to Memphis. And then I'll also share with you, when you were talking about "I Am Somebody," you know, he was singing that song all over the country, but it wasn't until Stax Records released The Old Country Preacher, right?
Right.
Al Bell and Reverend were very good friends. And that record went out, and that's when the whole country was able to hear it. And then we had Watt Stax, and he's standing on the stage before Isaac Hayes comes out, and he's got the crowd saying, "I am somebody, I am somebody." He owes a debt of gratitude to Memphis. He loved Memphis. He loved the Delta, and that's why he kept coming back.
I was going to ask you about that. There was obviously, for the obvious reasons that we talked about a minute ago, the assassination, but there was something about this city, though, that he just really, and you sort of kind of laid it out a little bit there, that he truly embraced it. He truly loved Memphis, and Memphis truly loved him. I mean, he was here quite a bit, wasn't he? He really was.
Yes, he was. He was. He was very supportive. You know, I've been serving as the president of Rainbow Push Memphis now for 20 years. I was installed in 2026. And so whenever I called him, if there was an issue that we were trying to work out with municipal or leaders, he would come, he would spend time, and they would listen to him, and they would help our position. The last 5 or 6 years that he was coming, we were working on conflict resolution. The violence is high in our schools, high in our city. We were talking about how to de-escalate and teach our young people how not to go strictly to violence and to have compassion and empathy for each other. But the reason why he loved Memphis is that he's a Southern boy, right? He came from the Deep South, He loved the music. He loved the food. He loved the culture. Whenever he'd come in, he said, I want to go by either the Leach's restaurant or I want to get some of that soul food from the Four-Way Grill. I mean, he enjoyed investing in brown people, and he had the compassion to understand that we all going to rise as the tide rises.
You know, you talked about some of the mission points that your organization is really pushing, and conflict resolution. I know that's very, very big for you and very deep for you. If in his latter years, what do you think? And I just asked this question to people who knew folks. What do you think he thought about the country as a whole? Because I mean, we're in a whole nother place here now, and the dynamics are so much more different than they are. But you know, I mean, you knew the man like very few other folks did. What was his take on the country as a whole as we continue to move forward in life today? What do you think? What do you think?
Well, he would often say, as C.L. Franklin would preach a sermon, Aretha Franklin's father, who really took my uncle, Reverend Kyles, under his wing, and Reverend Jackson later came along. C.L. Franklin used to preach a sermon, an eye for an eye leaves everybody blind. Oh. And Reverend would often say that in terms of this discord and this animosity and this anger that we have now, not only from the political parties, but just from individuals in everyday walk of life. Chip, you might remember Sugar Ditch. It was now Robinsonville, where all of the casinos were.
Yes.
Prior to that, you know, Sugar Ditch had an issue with the sewer water running down into that entire neighborhood. I was in high school, it was 83 or 84. And I remember Reverend Cumming and Uncle Billy, Reverend Kyles, taking us down to view the conversations. It was an environmental issue that needed addressing.
Yeah.
And so from that, they were able to change and create a sanitary sewer system. But he left here and then he went up to the Appalachians and he went into the mountains and talked with those individuals who had food shortages. So it didn't matter what color you were, what race you were, what gender you were. Reverend thought that everyone belonged under that big tent of possible prosperity.
Unbelievable. An unbelievable man that lived an unbelievable life and just left so many of us better off as human beings. Dr. Joseph B. Kyles. Joe, thank you so much for taking some time to share memories of your mentor and your friend. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chip, and for all that you do, and the information is power, and we certainly appreciate it and want to wish you well and blessings on you and your family.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Joseph Kyles, ladies and gentlemen, look back at a legend. He was very close to Reverend Jesse Jackson Jr., and we really appreciate him taking the time to share some of his memories. Let us take a break, and when we come back, we're going to shift gears and talk a little bit about our health. This is Real Talk Memphis. I'm Chip. You know who you are. At least I think you do. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
Hi there, 1D here on Gospel Talk back in the day, playing great gospel music and talking to artists from the past. Tune me in every Saturday from 12 o'clock noon until 2 o'clock p.m. on 91.7 FM Memphis.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this very chilly Monday evening in the city. Sit back, relax, get warm, get comfortable, and enjoy us for the next little bit. Now, my next guest is the man who keeps us healthy and informed in our community. We have a big county out here, and there's a lot of things going on health-wise, and I thought it would be good to get a little bit of a checkup. We hadn't had him on the show, and I wanted to get him in here to talk to us a little bit about what is happening in that particular end of the spectrum. Please welcome to the show the interim director of the Shelby County Health Department and my friend, Dr. Bruce Randolph. Doc, it's great to see you, my friend. Thanks for coming on the show.
Oh, thanks for having me. Good to see you.
Yes, sir. So listen, one of the things that you're in charge with is kind of the overall picture in terms of health in the county. And, you're always informing us and kind of keeping us up to date in terms of some of the things that we should know, some of the things that we may need to pay attention to. And I thought it was time for kind of a checkup of us in terms of your daily activities. You look at the big picture in terms of the overall health of the county. If I were to ask you that question right now in terms of the overall health of the county, what do you see right about now? What does it look like to you?
Well, I'm very optimistic, so I'm thinking that we are doing our best.
Okay.
Well, there's some things that I am concerned about. I mean, when we look at our HIV rates, especially among our young people. Mm-hmm. Of course, crime and violence have decreased, so that's a good thing. But of course, we're always concerned about the communicable diseases, the sexually transmitted diseases. So we're talking about HIV, we're talking about syphilis, gonorrhea, chlamydia, of course. But we also want people to be mindful of things that they can do to prevent chronic illnesses.
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk about chronic illnesses, we're talking about cancer and heart disease, stroke, diabetes, hypertension. All those things are very real and major causes. Those are still leading causes of death among residents in Shelby County. So one of the things that we really are pushing is a emphasis on health and well-being.
Okay.
Health and wellness, the well-being of spirit, mind, and body. And more as I look at things, I'm convinced that we're dealing with issues that we're going to require changes in not only habits and behavior, but hearts and minds. Mm-hmm. And we're really interested in trying to empower people with knowledge. As the scripture said, people perish because of the lack of knowledge. I think that with truthful and accurate information, people will take action and do things within their power to improve their health.
One of the things you and I have talked about in the past is, and you're really focused in on health disparities. Yes. I mean, that's a very, very big thing for you. If just an overview for someone who may have heard of what that phrase is, but don't know what that means. Explain what that means in terms of looking at health disparities.
Well, health disparities are preventable differences in the health outcome between the people, between the populations. Mm-hmm. It's preventable. And a lot of these disparities are differences. Preventable differences are influenced by social determinants of health. These social determinants of health are influenced by things like power, money, influence, resources, things that are influenced by social, economic factors.
Sure.
So when we're looking at these social determinants of health, we have to look at education. You have to look at the economy and economics. You have to look at the social and community setting in which people are born, lived, raised, and ultimately die in. And so when we look here at Shelby County, we see a marked difference in life expectancy between certain areas. There are certain zip codes in South and North Memphis, for example, where life expectancy is low as 69 years compared to zip codes out east, Germantown, Collierville, where life expectancy can be as high as 89 years. And so there's, a 20-year plus difference in life expectancy. And life expectancy is simply the length of time a person lives from their birth to when they die. And then infant mortality is another measure that we see where there's a difference, where the infant mortality rate between certain areas can be as the difference can be as high as 5 times different.
Oh, goodness.
And so those issues that we're certainly concerned about. And when you narrow that down, a lot of it comes down to issues of poverty.
So yeah, and when you were talking about that, I was thinking that's a pretty wide scale there. When you're talking about coming from one side of the county or one side of town versus the other side of town, and people need to understand that this is a real thing, and poverty does play a big role in all of this, and we know that it is really one of the deciding factors, and it's kind of a large factor here in Memphis and Shelby County. Am I correct in that?
You're correct, and it's something that needs to be spoken of more. I mean, we know that overall the poverty rate in Shelby County is about 28%, but there are some areas where the poverty rate, especially among children, can be as high as 72%.
Oh, wow.
There's some areas where it's even higher than that. And so when you compare the difference between what they call the health equity index between again, areas in South Memphis versus areas out east, Collierville, the difference can be as much as 99 times difference.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That's a very, very big deal. So when you're looking at things like this, and you're talking about this and really kind of making people aware that there are differences that cannot be ignored. But in terms of that, what are some of the things that can be done to maybe sort of improve the odds, if that's a legitimate question I just asked?
Well, one thing I want people to understand is that when you look at these differences, they are not just solely due to your individual behavior.
Okay.
Yes, there are things that you can do in terms of eating, exercising, managing stress, and we emphasize that. But also there are things you can do in terms of getting involved in your community, making health a issue. So when folks are coming around now asking you for votes, you should raise the question about health care, their stance on health care, et cetera, because it's a very important issue. Because to address the disparities that we see in health, we have to address the disparities that we see in our community in general, because health is simply a reflection of the disparities that exist economically, socially, politically, et cetera.
Before I let you go, I just had a question. You and I worked together during the COVID era when it was this thing just took over the entire world, and all of us were learning something new every 5 minutes in terms of it. Do you think, having lived through that experience for those couple 3 years, that we as a society have learned anything in reference to a health situation that dominated the entire world? What do you think? What's the post behind that?
Unfortunately, and this is my perspective on this, uh, because of the resistance, because of the distrust, I think it would be very difficult now for us to implement some of the preventive measures that we did back in COVID today. Because one of the things is that there is a lot of divide and distrust that exists. And I think you will get much more resistance now than we did back then. Back then, we didn't know what we were dealing with.
That's true.
And so unless we are confronted with a disease that's killing a lot of people are going to be even more resistant in terms of complying with what we recommend. People, we see it every day where we see people are resisting and not trusting the government.
That's very true. That's very true. Doc, as always, I appreciate you. You've always been one to be on the ground floor, and I think people listen to you because you talk in very common sense terms. And I want to thank you for coming on the show tonight. And I'm going to have you back. And of course, anytime that there's something that you need to get out, that the public needs to know, you know how to find me. And and anytime you need me, we're always here for you. I just want you to know that.
I would certainly appreciate it, and I'm going to take you up on that.
All right, my friend. Dr. Bruce Randolph, ladies and gentlemen, the interim director of the Shelby County Health Department. Thank you, sir, and I will be talking to you down the road. I'll be talking to you soon.
Take care, brother, and be well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You too.
All right.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. There were lessons that should have been learned, and in a lot of instances, there weren't, unfortunately. And sometimes if you don't learn them one way, you have to learn them another way, and that way is not always the best. Let's take another break. And when we come back, we're going to shift gears and put your dancing shoes on, or whatever it is you do when you want to, get into the musical side of things. We're going to be doing that with an 80s. You know what? She was pretty big deal back in the day. We will tell you after we take a quick commercial break. This is Real Talk Memphis. I'm Chip. Don't you go anywhere.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
There's really nothing better than a box of records. Not even a bottle of beer. Drinks are gone in a matter of minutes, but vinyl just won't disappear.
Hi there, this is Zach Ives. My show, A Box of Records, plays every Tuesday night, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., right here on WYXR 91.7 FM, Memphis, Tennessee.
Hey guys, this is Stephanie
and Dee Dee,
and we are Just a Touch Mondays from 2 to 3 p.m.
This is Brandy of Putting on Airs. Do you appreciate a good sad country song? If so, tune in at 9 a.m. on the first Sunday of each month where I host Sad Sack Sunday. I play only the saddest country songs and we get to waller around in our feelings a little bit together. That's right here on WYXR 91.7 FM Memphis.
Hello, friends. Are you craving a soundtrack for the supernatural? The Witching Hour is your answer. Tune in every Monday, 11 p.m. to midnight. Lock your doors, dim the lights, and let the music summon the spirits. Only on WYXR.
Hey, it's Tanya Dyson from Welcome to Neo Soulville. Tune in every single Friday morning from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. for the best in soul, jazz, and all of that good music that you know I love to play. Only on WYXR 91.7 FM.
This is Lulu with Cake Effects. Tune in every Saturday morning from 8 to 9 a.m. on WYXR 91.7 FM, where we play everyone who had a birthday that week.
Hey, this is Robbie. Join me and my buddy Winston every Wednesday from 2 to 4 p.m. for Song on the Radio. We play some stuff you're familiar with, some stuff you'd never heard, and some weird stuff.
Hey, it's Tanya Dyson from Welcome to Neo Soulville. Tune in every single Friday morning from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. for the best in soul, jazz, and all of that good music that you know I love to play. Only on WYXR 91.7 FM.
This is Pat Sansone. Join me for the Baroque Down Palace every Saturday from 2 to 3 p.m. here on 91.7 WYXR.
Hey, this is Jerry, and you're listening to WYXR 91.7 FM Memphis. My show, Without a Net Radio, coming to you from 8 to 10 p.m. every Sunday night. I'll be playing you some good music. Tune in and listen.
Hi, Jenny. Hi, Amy. We host Sonosphere every Monday from 4 to 5. So tune in on WYXR 91.7.
Love listening to Obscure 45s but no time for crate digging? Tune in Thursdays at 5 p.m. for Burnt Ends with Eric Plumley. He's already done the hard work for you, right here on WYXR 91.7 FM, Memphis.
Hey now. It's your pal Robert Gordon from Tuesday Afternoons at the Idle Hour. I don't know how to work the controls. I don't know what I'm going to play. And no one's going to make you listen. See you there.
Hey guys, you're listening to 4 Fives. This is DJ Grand Piano, where I play all the soulful tunes from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Tune in each Sunday from 5 to 6 p.m. And remember, if the 4 don't get you, the 5 will.
Hi, I'm Caitlin. Meet me on a racetrack in France every Sunday, 2 to 3 p.m. Surprisingly French tunes served piping hot every Sunday on WYXR 91.7 Memphis.
This is Tim Prudhomme asking you to join me and Steve Shelley for the new Untitled Show on WYXR FM every Monday night from 9 till 10 as we celebrate the history of recorded music.
Hey there, I'm Amanda, host of Finders Keepers, where I play new indie rock and pop, a little bit of hip hop, and a little bit of whatever I'm feeling. And I hope you feel it too. So please tune in every Friday from 4 to 6 on WYXR.
This is Brandy putting on airs, and I want to help you through your Sunday morning come down. There's no better time to listen to a little honky tonk than Sunday morning when you're trying to remember your Saturday night. So grab your Bloody Mary and your coffee and tune into WYXR at 9 a.m. Sundays, and let's get your day started right. This is Brandy of Putting on Airs. Do you appreciate a good sad country song? If so, tune in at 9 a.m. on the first Sunday of each month where I host Sad Sack Sunday. I play only the saddest country songs and we get to waller around in our feelings a little bit together. That's right here on WYXR 91.7 FM Memphis.
This is Pat Sansone. Join me for the Baroque Down Palace every Saturday from 2 to 3 p.m. here on 91.7 WYXR.
This is Tim Prudhomme asking you to join me and Steve Shelley for the new Untitled Show on WYXR FM every Monday night from 9 till 10 as we celebrate the history of recorded music.
Hey everybody, this is David. I'm the host of the New Soft Shoe Show Monday mornings at 10 a.m. right here on 91.7 FM WYXR. All analog, baby.
This is Pat Sansone. Join me for the Baroque Down Palace every Saturday from 2 to 3 p.m. here on 91.7 WYXR.
Woman's intuition, woman's prerogative. Sometimes only a woman's point of view will do. Listen to Valley of the Dolls, Sunday, 1 to 2 p.m. on WYXR 91.7 FM. A chance to hear a woman's thoughts and feelings.
Hey everybody, I'm Angela Jackson. Come join me Wednesday mornings 8 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here on 91.7 WYXR.
Join me, Jim Duckworth, for an hour of classic jazz every Thursday from 1 to 2 p.m. on a show I call Riding in Rhythm right here on WYXR 91.7 FM in Memphis, Tennessee.
Yo, this is Devin Germain from the Audio Box. Tune in every Friday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. where I play a lot of recent releases as well as retro music on occasions. Only on WYXR 91.7 FM.
Hey, this is Willie Bearden. I do a show called Songs That Move You. I bring people in and we talk about the songs, maybe not their favorite songs, but just the songs that mean something to them. We have a conversation around their songs. Mondays, 9 a.m. to 10, right here on WYXR.
Hi, I'm Caitlin. Meet me on a racetrack in France every Sunday, 2 to 3 p.m. Surprisingly French tunes served piping hot every Sunday on WYXR 91.7 Memphis.
What's going on, y'all? This is Charles from Tangent Radio. I wanted to stop by to tell you a couple of things about how our show works. We go by 3 laws: sine, cosine, and tangent. So join me as I follow the signs of our iconic sounds of the past. I co-sign the artist shaping what's next, and we go off on a little bit of a tangent to discover the future of music before it hits that mainstream. Tune in with me Mondays at noon here on WYXR 91.7 FM.
Hey guys, you're listening to 4 Fives. This is DJ Grand Piano, where I play all the soulful tunes from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Tune in each Sunday from 5 to 6 p.m. And remember, if the 4 don't get you, the 5 will.
Support for WYXR comes from Outback Presents, announcing singer-songwriter Jason Isbell live at the Orpheum Theater on Friday, March 27th. Tickets and more information at Ticketmaster.com.
I'm Dr. Lisa Beasley, a family nurse practitioner and host of the podcast series Helpful High Notes, located on the WYXR Podcast Network. Episodes are released weekly, and I invite you to listen, like, and follow. Topics for the month of March include daylight savings time and your health, nutrition, multiple sclerosis, colon cancer, and kidney health. Visit the WYXR Podcast Network at WYXR.org or listen on your favorite podcast streaming service.
I'm Patrick Tamburino, host of the Techno Strategist podcast. Join me as we navigate the ever-evolving world of IT managed services and beyond. We'll explore everything from selecting the ideal tech partner to the forefront of cutting-edge technologies, all infused with my own unique perspective and hopefully a touch of humor. Don't forget to tune in to the Techno Strategist on the WYXR Podcast Network. For more information, head over to WYXR.org.
Your car has one last great trip to take, straight to support WYXR. We'll pick it up, you'll get a tax break, and the music keeps rolling. Donate your car, truck, SUV, or any vehicle at cars.wyxr.org. Whether it's a clunker or a classic, your car can keep Memphis grooving. Free pickup, tax deductible, and all for WYXR. Donate your vehicle at cars.wyxr.org.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
Can you hear me?
This is Pat Sansone. Join me for the Baroque Down
Yeah, sorry
Palace
about that. The
every Saturday from 2 to 3 p.m. here on 91.7 WYXR.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under W.
Okay. Hey, okay, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know. We did have some technical issues here, but she's here. Stacy Lattisaw Jackson is joining me right now. Stacy, can you hear me okay?
I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Welcome to the show. I appreciate it. We don't have a lot of time, but at least I have some time with you. How are you tonight? How are you doing? Hello?
I'm okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, now I do. A second ago I didn't, but now I do. I don't know what you're. I don't. But anyway, I'm. Thank you for taking a few minutes to chat with us. We're getting close to the top of the hour, but you have a lot of fans in this city. And when I promoted the fact that you were coming on the show, there were quite a few people that wanted to hear your voice again and wanted to see you and to really find out about what has happened. In the 80s and the 90s, you were a pretty big deal, weren't you? How old were you back in those days when you were making these hits?
Well, the very first album I recorded, I was 12. But Let Me Be Your Angel, that was the big record I was really, I guess, the beginning of the highlight of my career. I was 13 when that was recorded.
Now, that's pretty young to be such a phenomenon as you were musically. Did you understand any of that? I mean, you went from, I don't know, from wherever you came from to like all of a sudden this big global phenomenon with that record. Did you understand any of that at that time, during that time?
Absolutely not. I was a little girl, and the only thing I wanted to do was to be a little girl. But I didn't have a normal childhood because at that time, Let Me Be Your Angel had become a big record.
Yeah.
So, and by the time I turned 14, that's when I had the opportunity. Michael Jackson's management company contacted my manager, and I had the opportunity to open for the Jacksons in 1981. And that was definitely the highlight of my career, to meet Michael, to tour with them. We did a 36-city tour for 13 weeks, and Michael was the greatest. He really, really was.
So, back in those days, and as I said earlier, and you probably didn't hear, but I said earlier, as I've been promoting your appearance on the show, a guy sent me a note, and he said, Chip, he said, I was in the audience when you came to Memphis. I'm in Memphis. We're in Memphis right now, right? And he said, I remember when the Jacksons, when she was the opening act for the Jacksons, when they came to Memphis during that time, 1981, and he said, you were great. And I have to ask you, again, you just talked about it. How in the world, at that time, did they find you, or their management company find you? Obviously, your record was really big, but I mean, how did they find you? You're doing whatever one minute, and the next minute you're getting a call from Jackson saying, "Hey, can you tour with us?" How'd that work out?
It's so amazing because when you think about over your life, right? Michael Jackson, who wouldn't want to open for the Jacksons? I met all of them. I met their parents and all, and it was just a huge opportunity for me. But like I said, I will never forget. I was outdoors playing with my friends, and my mother came outside, and she was like, "Michael Jackson's management company wants you to open for the Triumph."
Yeah.
Was
Triumph tour. It was Triumph. Yeah.
Meeting Michael, opening for them every night and going backstage. And when I turned 16, Michael sent me some flowers. And in fact, he called my phone, called my house phone. And I really didn't think it was him, but it was Michael.
Well, that's a pretty big deal. You also had a Love on a Two-Way Street. That was another hit of yours. Am I correct in that?
Yes.
Yeah. And was it as big as the first one, or did you? I mean, in terms of the magnitude of the moment.
They were actually about the same. They were both big records for me.
Yeah.
And it's funny because there's a little history behind that. Of course, Love on a Two-Way Street was originally recorded by the Moments, right?
Mm-hmm.
But people thought that was my song. I just remade the song, right? So I was like 15 when I recorded Love on a Two-Way Street. And by the way, we are remaking Love on a Two-Way Street. The Moments and myself is going to become a duet.
Are you serious?
Yeah, a lot of people don't know it yet.
Well, they know it now, doggone it, because they heard it on my show. But let me. Okay, so wow, that's a scoop, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, and there was another one that you did with a fella some folks might have heard of by the name of Johnny Gill. That was a hit during that time as well. Did you and he ever do a tour or perform together? Outside of the record itself.
Yeah, we performed together. I discovered Johnny Gill. We went to school together in Washington, D.C.
Oh, okay.
At the time, I didn't know that he could sing. We used to have talent shows in my basement. And when I heard him sing, I was like, oh my gosh, because he was like 15 when we had these talent shows. And I didn't have a clue that he had that big voice. So he always sounded a lot older than what he was. So yeah, we did Soul Train. We did a few different TV shows together, but we did not tour together. No.
Wow, this is really, this is like a musical walk, a walk down musical Hall of Fame for me in terms of listening to you talk about all of this. So at some point, you decided that, and I don't know how you came to that point. You decided that you didn't want to do it anymore. How old were you when you came to the decision that you said, well, I don't know that I want to go down this road anymore?
I was actually 23 because, like I said, I started singing at the age of 9. It's actually when I started working. I was 9 years old. But by the time I was 22, the music industry began to change. And what I mean by that is that it was becoming more visual than singing. You had people like Natalie Cole, Stephanie Mills, Tina Marie, and Regina Bell, and we were all in that same time frame. We were singing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we were singers. We kept our clothes on, okay?
Okay.
We kept our clothes on. So back then, I'll never forget my manager was like, well, the music industry is going this direction, so you're going to have to dress more provocatively. And that did not sit right with me at all. I was born and raised in a Christian home, and I had values, and I still have standards. So I was like, this is not going to work for me.
Your signals.
What they that I was willing to do. And at that time, Where Do We Go From Here was #1 on the Billboard charts. And Johnny Gill, that's when his career began to take off.
Okay.
From Where Do We Go From Here?
Okay.
I chose to walk away, and I gave my life to Christ, and I'm now a minister.
Yeah.
I don't knock R&B music,
Mm-hmm. No. So what made you? Let's go back for just a quick second. The remake of the big hit that you talked about with the Moments. What made you decide that you wanted to do that again? Are you there?
I actually didn't, to be honest with you. They contacted me, Mr. Billy, and he was like, we're putting together this legacy album for the Moments, right?
Yeah.
And we want you to go in the studio and put a vocal on Love on the Street, and we want it to be a duet. So I thought about it for a minute, and I was like, why not? I've always been a fan of the Moments, and it's a great song. So it turned out really, really nice. You guys are going to hear it really soon, and I think we're going to do a video also.
Is that, well, listen, that's you just gave us a scoop. That's a pretty big deal there. And you've given your life to Christ. You're a minister now. Do you ever see a time when you might put your toe back in the R&B waters?
I don't have any desire to sing R&B music. I am working on an inspirational CD.
Okay. And nothing wrong with that. We all could use some inspiration. I can tell you that right now. Listen, we're over our time here, and I'm cutting into my buddy's show, but I really want to thank you for coming on tonight, because a lot of folks were looking forward to hearing from you and seeing you, and you told us you got a little something coming out here pretty soon. But this has been fascinating for me, and it really has been kind of a kick. Let me ask you this question. You went on 32, I think you said 31 cities. Do you remember, or were a lot of those cities a blur to you? Do you remember coming to Memphis? You probably don't, do you?
I don't remember coming to Memphis, to be honest with you. We traveled so many different states, and you know, the Jacksons, they only performed in coliseums. So it was like 30,000 feet, you know, of venues.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't remember Memphis very well. But I just know that every show was dynamic. It really was. Michael Jackson and his brothers were just, as everyone knows, there will never be another Michael Jackson, in my opinion.
No, you're absolutely right in that. Yeah, absolutely. Stacy Lattisaw Jackson, ladies and gentlemen. That's Stacy Lattisaw has joined us this evening. Stacy, thank you so much. I'm glad we worked it out. I'm glad we got you on for a few minutes. Wish you nothing but the best with this new single, and really with your life as a whole. Congratulations on everything, and God bless you. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
Apologies for the delay with everything, this technology stuff.
That's okay. We worked it out. That's what matters. But thank you so much. God bless you. We'll look to see you soon.
God bless you as well.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Bren, I'm sorry, Bren. We had to eat into your show a little bit, but my boy Bren here, Butler, is next with Event Horizon. But we're all kind of glued to listening to Stacy Lattisaw here. Him too. So we really appreciate. Sorry, Bren. My apologies, my friend. But listen, thank y'all. He's gonna play us out and play himself in. Really appreciate having you be a part of all of this tonight. If you didn't get to hear all of the show, it's you know, hey, it's on my page. You can go to Facebook Live and you can check it out and all of that stuff. So thank you to everyone for being a part of it. Thank you all for listening. Thank you, Lulu. Thank you, Bren. Thank you all. And as I like to always say before I walk out of this studio, take care of yourself, take care of each other, watch out for each other, and we are out. Event Horizon coming right your way next.
It's real.